Former President George W. Bush is back in the news. He doesn't often grant interviews these days, but he is now, although to be fair, she is a bit of an insider. His presidential library is about to start displaying some of his artwork. You've probably seen leaked photos of it before, but now he's proudly displaying it. And so here's the first part of that interview.
So congratulations, Dad. This is pretty exciting.
Well, yeah, who would have thought it?
Not me.
Yeah, not me.
So you painted some of the leaders you worked with. Here's your good friend, Tony Blair.
Yeah.
Has he seen this portrait?
I don't think he has. No telling how these people are going to react when they see their portrait. I think I told Tony I was painting him, and he kind of brushed it off, so to speak.
No art pun intended there?
That was an art pun.
Okay,
anyway,
Look, sometimes you just miss the old guy. Okay, first of all, when he said he brushed it aside and did the classic George. Okay, and then she's like, "Oh no, art pun intended." No, wait, I didn't mean that pun.
It's like, no,
George, we knew that. Right. We knew that, George.
We just saw that your daughter is smarter than you are, Mr. President. Yeah.
And she can't be happy after that being brushed off. Like, no, you idiot, it was a joke.
Right. Yeah, right.
He's so stupid. Oh my God.
Any other reporter would go back, and then I said to Bush, I made this pun. He was like, yeah, I did make a pun.
Yeah.
That was a pun. Any other reporter, it's his daughter. He can't really do that.
I would give anything to hear or see Tony Blair's reaction as soon as Bush tells him, "Oh, I'm doing a portrait of you," right? Like how awkward is that
He
conversation?
probably said, "I do declare."
Obviously.
Of course.
Brilliant, really, brilliant.
Well, I do know that Barbara Bush apparently said she refuses under any circumstances to let him paint her. She says because she's too worried that it would look too much like her, like sort of self-deprecating about her appearance.
I don't want to see a picture of me or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I saw the Blair one. I don't think it would look that much like her.
Well, actually, he's not. I don't think he's a bad. This is ridiculous, but I don't think the guy's a bad painter. I don't think he's a bad painter. I mean, he's a better painter than anyone, probably here. But I don't know that either.
There's a lot to judge him for, but for the paintings, do you? It's
so
okay.
Let's get to the substance of the story. I mean, it was good to see the
The
old Bush
substance
back.
of the story is that Jimmy Carter is solving guinea worm, the Clinton Global Initiative's happening, and this guy's in his studio painting Tony Blair. I mean, that's the substance of this story.
Before we hit too much more of the substance, we got one more little bit of the interview.
Is this something you ever thought, 10 years ago would have happened?
no, it's just, if you would have said to me that, one, you'd be working for NBC, and two, that I'd be having a gallery full of paintings, I'd have said, neither.
That is so revealing. It really is, and unexpected, even for family members.
We were shocked. I mean, he communicated through his art on his iPad, but that didn't mean that he was going to be able to paint people like Tony Blair.
To me, this is the substance of the interview, which is that our media has become so intertwined with the government and the powerful that as I saw Jenna sitting across from Bush, they look like one another too. Like, we're basically having them interview themselves, right?
That's absolutely true. I mean, I remember when I was going to journalism school, what happened right there, even though it's a silly story, right, is so unethical. You're not supposed to go around interviewing your friends or interviewing family members. I mean, it depends on the topic.
This is an extenuating circumstance. I have no problem with that at all.
Well,
it's not. It isn't news, but it's not the
That's
prime.
why I wanted to show the second video.
Yeah.
Because they come back, they're like, that is so revealing. And I was thinking, no, it is not. This is the least revealing interview of a U.S. president I have ever seen.
She interviewed her grandfather, talking about, about the letters he had written, what a letter writer he was. And it was a charming interview of George H.W. Bush, and it was with his granddaughter. There was something cute about that.
I'd say
I don't
more
have
interesting
any
if
problem
someone
with
who's
that.
not related to them interviews them about their
No,
hobbies.
there's an insight. I don't know. I think it's actually charming to see that. I'm not the least bit charmed by this guy, but I think it's a charming setup to be able to do that.
I understand what you're saying, Michael, but the problem with it is the context, right? Which is that it's very, very hard to get a real interview with George W. Bush. There's only so much to go around, and so he does one with a friendly audience, to say the least, his own daughter.
I know, but if she turned around, Cenk, and she said to him, "Well, what did you think of Blair joining you after he didn't in the Clinton?" Well, then I don't want to hear about it at all. They're talking about paintings.
Oh, so you're
what
saying
did you think?
it's so fluffy
that
it's not a real interview.
It's not really. It's a feature story on a morning show, and that's exactly what this is. And I think that's great to be able to have that access.
My overall point is, if NBC had done real interviews of George W. Bush and said, "Hey, listen, wait a minute now. How about the reconnaissance plane that you wanted to paint in UN colors and shoot down so that we could pretend that Saddam Hussein did that? That is an unbelievable thing. That's a false flag operation like a Gulf of Tonkin. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Well, you're not going to get that, Ari. You're not going to get that interview. What you could do is you could book the interview with Jenna Bush. Hey, Mr. President, Jenna couldn't make it today. We're sending Jim Miklaszewski or whoever you're
So my point is, if NBC had been doing those tough interviews all along with Dick Cheney, George W. Bush, and then do a fluffy one like this, then I'm 100% with you, Michael. Okay. But unfortunately, we didn't get those. And I think the thing that really burrowed under my skin is when they said, well, that was very revealing.
Yeah.
Like, no, you have never done a revealing interview with Bush, and that certainly wasn't it.